Our top focus, Delhi's VIP culture once again is the target of anger. People say the VIPs are living in their secure environment, but the police are unable to protect the Aam Aadmi. Angry protests in Delhi again after the brutal rape and mutilation of a 5-year-old girl. The accused has been arrested from Muzaffarpur in Bihar and brought to Delhi. But hundreds of protesters took to the streets of Delhi today asking why enough measures have not been taken to protect women. Huge crowds gathered at the police headquarters and at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences where the little girl is being treated. She is now stable. Security has been tightened at many places in the capital, including the residence of Home Minister Shinde. Meanwhile, Section 144, which prohibits the gathering of groups of people, has been imposed at India Gate. Security tightened at the Home Minister's residence, but who will look after the security of all the vulnerable girl children that are in Delhi and other parts of India who are still under threat? Reporters are joining us. Shreya Dhondial joining us from AIIMS. Arunoday Mukherjee at Delhi Police Headquarters. First across to you, Shreya Dhondial. Give us the update on the little girl. What is the latest you're hearing?
Well, the only silver lining, Sagarika, in this entire sordid saga is that the girl is out of danger as we speak. Doctors are saying she's responding well to antibiotics. The big worry for them right now, of course, is the fact that infection has spread through her body. They're saying that is something that they're finding extremely difficult to control. Also, the fact that her internal organs have been completely damaged, and that is something that will require reconstructive surgery. The girl is not well enough for her to be able to withstand that sort of surgery. So they are waiting for another week for her to stabilize before they can do that. And this won't be one surgery, Sagarika. This will be a string of surgeries over the next couple of weeks. But they are saying by the end of this week, in the next 7 days, she should be okay. She's out of danger. So that is that one silver lining, that one good news that is coming from him. Sagarika, I also managed to speak to the first surgeon who operated on this little 5-year-old girl. He tells me he's seen nothing like this in his last 23 years as a doctor. She had been brutalized to such an extent that he had to surgically take out a candle and a 200 milliliter oil bottle from inside her. He also told me that there were marks all over her body. There was an obvious attempt made to slit her wrist, to strangulate her. She was left to starve. Remember, she hadn't eaten anything for 40 hours. She was left without water, left without any food. She was 20 kgs when she was brought to hospital. The doctor telling me that it's a miracle that she managed to survive.
What an ordeal there for that little girl, Shreya. What an absolute ordeal. I think every mother of every 5-year-old girl would be really having a heartache at listening to what you are telling us. We're understanding also that, as you were saying, that she is in immense pain, and her parents, though, are with her. Is she talking to them? Is she conscious? Is she communicating with her parents?
We spoke to doctors a couple of hours ago, and they're telling us she is stable A, and the good news is she's also speaking to her parents. She's fine in that sense, but the child has been brutalized to such an extent that she's completely traumatized. That's what doctors are telling us. She doesn't want to talk to the nurses. She doesn't want to talk to the doctors. She only wants her mother to be near her. So the child completely traumatized, but right now speaking to her parents. That's what we are being told. Also, outside the hospital, some amount of protests, if you can call these protests, Sagarika. I'm going to quickly show you what's going on here. There's a handful of people, around 30 to 40 of them. They were shouting slogans a couple of minutes ago. That seems to have stopped. There's heavy police presence. The police, though, has been very clearly told not to provoke the crowds. They've been told let the crowds be. If they want to protest, they can protest. But many people, and on Twitter as well as people who cross by, tell us, really, is this the place to be protesting? You can protest anywhere in Delhi, but a hospital outside
Why protest outside a hospital? Why protest outside a hospital? Thanks for bringing us that update, Shreya. We are praying for that little one. She has endured an ordeal that no 5-year-old should endure ever again. Let's go across to Arunoday Mukherjee, who is joining us in fact, from police headquarters. There have been some protests there. We understand, Arunoday, but you were telling us earlier in the day that these are political protests, mainly the AAP party there which is protesting.
That's right. In fact, that's what we've seen through the day today. There has been an element of politicization that we've seen as far as these protests are concerned. And Sagarika, one can't help but compare it to the other protests that we've seen in December, January, which seem to have that spontaneous element, a little more, a little greater degree of spontaneity. If I could just show you, this was a completely different scene here earlier this morning. There were barricades here, there were people trying to break those barricades, but the crowd has thinned, and there are only members of the Aam Aadmi Party who still remain here. Some of them have decided that they will be spending the night here as well, and tomorrow is a fresh day. They're going to take this up once again. But you know, again, a comparison must be made last time. The kind of civil society representation that we've seen the earlier time, the kind of representation that we saw from young college-going students as well, that's something that, having covered those protests extensively, Sagarika, last time, I'm finding that a little wanting in these protests as well. However, the big point they want, there are a combination of issues really that are getting mixed up in these protests. Some of them demanding the resignation of the Commissioner of Police, some of them demanding the sacking of the ACP who assaulted that girl while protesting, and others just demanding justice once again. So it remains to be seen whether these protests are going to be able to be sustained over the next few days. But tomorrow is Sunday, it's a holiday, and they're confident they will be turning out in larger numbers. And this time, you're not seeing protests happen at Jantar Mantar, Sagarika, you're not seeing protests happen at India Gate. The target seems to be the Delhi police and only the Delhi police, and that's why you're seeing for the first time these kind of protests happen at the police headquarters.
Right, and as our panelists were telling us on the discussion, Arunodaya, is there also that feeling that VIPs are well looked after, Sonia Gandhi is well looked after, Sheila Dikshit is well looked after, but the woman who is having to do her work every day, the girl child, they are the ones left most vulnerable because the police in Delhi is only looking after the VIPs?
That's right. In fact, that is one sentiment that was communicated by these protesters as well.
Right.
They're saying that the police seems to be prioritizing in these cases, and the first priority goes to the VIPs, and they only come next. And that's another part of the anger that they've been voicing here.
Right. Arunodaya Mukherjee, Shreya Dhondia, thanks so much indeed for joining us with those reports from AIIMS and police headquarters.